Michael Saylor just said the bear market is not coming back and Bitcoin is going to $1 million.
There's now only 450 Bitcoin a day available for sale by natural sellers. That's the miners. At this level, that works out to about $50 million of Bitcoin available for sale every day. If that $50 million is bought, then the price has got to move up to find any seller that's price sensitive. Now, if you do the math, you'll actually see the Bitcoin treasury companies by themselves are buying the entire natural supply.
Yeah.
BlackRock and the ETFs are buying another measure of that. And we've got nation-state actors coming into the space. So I think when Bitcoin rallies, if it surges to 500,000 or $1 million, then maybe we could talk about it crashing down by $200,000 a coin. But at the current price levels, it only takes $50 million to turn the entire drive shaft of the crypto economy one turn. And you've got the Trump media organization announcing $2.5 billion. You've got GameStop announcing $500 million. You've got my company that's raising billions and billions of dollars. So the writing is on the wall. Bitcoin's moving higher.
Okay, so there's a few things to dig into.
The writing is on the wall. GigaChad isn't playing games. Everyone's looking for a top, but what if the move hasn't even started? And breaking, the global economy is on track for its worst decade since the 1960s, warns the World Bank. And I hope you caught that massive Saylor interview last night. Pretty sure he just turned Jordan Peterson into a max. And then we have this. Housing has become the most unaffordable in the entire history of the United States. We're going to let you in on a little secret on how Bitcoin makes buying a house and living in general cheaper. And this Bitcoin treasury stuff is getting out of hand. How the am I supposed to read all that? I'm not doing it. And that's not even all of them. I can't even keep up anymore. And apparently, thousands more are coming.
That as of March 31st of this year, 79 public companies hold a collective $57 billion in Bitcoin on their balance sheets. That's a nearly 160% rise over the past year. What do you attribute that bump to? And generally speaking, why do you think public companies are betting big on Bitcoin?
Yeah, I think there are a few reasons for that. We think this is a mega trend, by the way, that's going to accelerate into the future. One, of course, is increased worries about the dollar. Corporations globally are sitting on records amount of cash, and what they've historically done is park it in short-term U.S. treasuries or, in fact, in cash accounts. But with the huge money printing and growing deficits, that no longer seems like a valid approach. They need another way to protect their wealth from degradation, and they're turning to the best horse in that race, which is Bitcoin. Beyond that, the investing audience has just recognized that this is a positive strategy, and so companies are being rewarded for taking this bold step of putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. We think there will ultimately be thousands of companies that do this. We think we're in inning 1 or 2 of this mega trend period, but you're seeing it accelerate over time. It's very exciting.
Welcome back, I'm Rustin, and you're about to find out why 110K Bitcoin is just the beginning, and why $1 million Bitcoin is in play. It's go time. Sunday. Bitcoin is eating everything, and how does Saylor just have endless bars? It is. That's why I'm here. And there were many awesome moments in that interview with Peterson, like this one.
Had a guy, after 30 years in business and an engineering education, reasonably educated, but not a classically trained economist, not an Austrian economist. I am struggling with the time-honored question, what is money? Mm-hmm. I need a liquid, fungible asset which will store my economic energy for an indefinite period of time. That is, and so what is money? I'm looking for money. And eventually I get to gold. And I'm thinking, should I buy $500 million of gold? And, my attorney, he looks at me and goes, Mike, I remember when gold was $800 an ounce back in the 70s or the 80s, and then it went nowhere for 20 years, and you should be careful about that. And it might not, it's kind of dead money. And then so I'm sitting at this table and I'm watching the world burn while all the Wall Street guys get rich and the talking heads on CNBC say what they're saying. And I'm looking out at Miami Beach and I'm looking at Collins Avenue, and every car is there's no cars on the road except for an Amazon truck, which just makes me angry. one Amazon truck going by. And I've got 82 birds in my backyard, and they're hunting for worms because all the restaurants in Miami Beach shut down. So whoever was feeding them is not feeding them. So I'm watching us strip the world back to the Stone Age, right? A devolution. And I'm staring over my pool, and I look at Eric, and I say, Eric, tell me about that Bitcoin thing again. And Eric was a crypto entrepreneur, and he had been investing in digital assets and crypto. And I had dismissed him 2 years earlier in 2018. I was like, oh, that's probably just a scam coin. That's going to collapse. But, everybody finds this when if I tell you got 6 months to live, you would go looking for a cure. And if I told you every asset that you hold in Canada is going to be seized from you within 6 months,
that could happen.
You would think about how you're going to get your money out of Canada.
Yeah, we already thought about that.
And the point is, you didn't think about it for the 20 years of your career when it just wasn't the priority.
Yeah.
And then when you're faced with a crisis, a challenge, you start thinking.
There is no second best, my friends, and I don't know. It feels like Saylor and Rogan might just be right around the corner. And speaking of crisis, I didn't say it, Ray Dalio said it. And I think we can see the alarm bells ringing all around us, and Larry Lepard is right. We are living through the mandibles. This is where the demand for Bitcoin on the corporate, institutional, and nation-state adoption level is coming from. Bitcoin is on a need-to-know-you basis, and nearly everyone is on a need-to-know Bitcoin at this point. Just look at this. The median age for the first-time homebuyer is at an all-time high. And as we showed you, housing is more unaffordable than any point in history. Actually, it's only getting more unaffordable if you're operating inside that system, the fiat system. Watch this.
In 2012, you'd need 30,000 Bitcoin to buy this house. A decade later, it had only cost you 20 Bitcoin. And today, it could be yours for 5. If home prices keep falling in Bitcoin, why do they keep rising in dollars?
All of the chaos and disorder we see stems from one thing, a broken monetary system that lives off making you, me, and everyone else poor at their expense. Just listen to Ron Paul in 2007.
As we live beyond our means, we are destined to live beneath our means, and we have lived beyond our means because we are financing a foreign policy that is so extravagant and beyond what we can control, as well as the spending here at home, and we're depending on the creation of money out of thin air, which is nothing more than debasement of the currency. It's counterfeit, and it is a natural, predictable consequence that you're going to have people benefit from it and other people suffer. So if you want a healthy economy, you have to study monetary theory and figure out why it is that we're suffering. And everybody doesn't suffer equally, or this wouldn't be so bad. It's always the poor people, those on retired incomes, that suffer the most. But the politicians and those who get to use the money first, like the military-industrial complex, they make a lot of money and they benefit from it.
Damn it, I love that, man. Sound money is the solution, and it makes life better. It tilts the scales in your favor. Think about it. After 2008, now anytime they bail out or print, you as a Bitcoin holder get the same benefits as those assholes getting bonuses, except they're getting bailed out in worthless paper, or in the future a slavery stablecoin. But this is the peasants' revolt, and we have more to get to. While supply is being drained and nations and U.S. states are adopting strategic Bitcoin reserves, some states are choosing to have fun staying poor. And we have proof that Bitcoin is for your enemies too. And if it wasn't, then it wouldn't be money. And even Bigfoot is looking to start a Bitcoin treasury company. But before we bring it home, look at our likes.
3 or 4 times, maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp while we take a moment to recognize our sponsors powering this show over at the Bitcoin Way. Self-custody has never been more important. Learn how to run a node and don't get caught holding IOUs, paper Bitcoin, refuse to be placed in a digital gulag. and get your Bitcoin off exchanges. Self-custody is the revolution. Visit thebitcoinway.com and begin your journey towards sovereignty today. If you're looking to get started, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation using that link in the show notes. You ever tried to explain to your friends that Ron Paul was right about everything and they just ask if he caught the game last night? Well, boom, we got you covered. The Orange Pill app is the single largest repository of Bitcoin-only events in the world. Connect with over 16,000 other Bitcoiners in real life. Bitcoin is better with friends, and now you can zap them instantly all in one app. What are you waiting for? Download the Orange Pill app today, go hit a meetup, and who knows, the connections you make could last a lifetime.
So Bitcoin, how the hell do I buy that? Okay, so a laptop, hopefully an unlucky camper won't mind me borrowing his. I promise I'll give it back. So I guess I'm a Bitcoin holder now? I'm coming for you, Michael Saylor.
Look out, Sailor, Sasquatch is a-coming. And while Sasquatch stays humble, stacks sats, stays moisturized and in his lane, breaking, Connecticut has chosen to have fun staying poor, and good for them. And also, proof of Bitcoin is for enemies too. We have news out of Ukraine, blah, blah. But you know, my only question is, where did the money come from? CNBC says buckle up, a rally to 130K is upon us. But we know where we're really going, don't we? We're knocking on Satoshi's door.
Have modeling that shows that Bitcoin is going to increase dramatically and then more slowly over time. All of the Bitcoin, meaning 99% of all the Bitcoin that will ever be mined, will be mined in the next 10 years. So this asset has growth potential for the next 10 years that's tremendous. I think the American people should admire the fact that President Trump was foresightful enough to engage in the digital economy. Everyone is going to be involved in this economy in one way or another. And I'm proud of the president for choosing to engage in this very promising component of the economy.
One thing is for certain, well, a few. A country run by banks will always be in debt. Healthcare run by big pharma will never cure disease. A state run by war will never know peace. And a nation run by the media will never know the truth. Oh yeah, and one more thing. It's going up forever, Laura. Don't forget to get those tickets to Mining Disrupt 2025. That's right, the biggest Bitcoin mining conference is heading to the Bitcoin mining capital of the world, Dallas, Texas. Get ready, Bitcoin is taking over November 11th through the 13th. Grab your tickets today and use promo code SimplyBitcoin for 20% off, and we hope to see you there. What do you guys think? How are we feeling out there? Let us know down below, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you got value today, like, subscribe, and give us a pamp. Share the Sound Money Gospel and set those notifications for the best in Bitcoin news delivered to you daily. Love you guys. Catch you next time. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, you.